All right, everybody, welcome back. 1776 or bust. So this big beast of a handgun that I really enjoyed shooting was quite a treat to shoot. The gun is just, I don't even know what to say, guys. There's absolutely no recoil to this gun, even in 45. As that target comes back, you can see a lot of them are centered, shooting a little bit high, but again, I'm not a big 1911 guy. I mean, overall, the gun handled just the way you'd expect a 40-ounce steel gun to handle. Not a lot of muzzle rise, not a lot of felt recoil. I mean, even though it was a 45, you felt a little bit of a kind of a pushback, but nothing that you, in my opinion, you could say is uncontrollable. Were my groups like super tight, one on top of each other? No. But would it be something that I would recommend for people to shoot? Yes, because if you're not into shooting a 45, and when you see these groups come back, you're going to know there's not a lot of flyers. I mean, we're talking a very small target, very small circle. Yeah, this one's a little bit wide, but a lot of them are centered left. And I've got to say, I have a lot of confidence in shooting this handgun. I think most people would probably feel the same, especially with the fact that, we're talking about a handgun that to me was very easy to manage. Now, if you got small hands, that might be a little bit of a problem because this is a very large handgun. But at the same time, again, shooting high, seeing the groups come in, but they're fairly tight into that center left. That's probably more my eye than anything else. But overall, this gun was fantastic to shoot. Again, if you're into 1911s and you have a lot of high-end 1911s, maybe this isn't going to be for you per se. But if you're like me and you're just starting to kind of dabble a little bit into this platform, to me, this is the best way to start. It's a low-cost, really nice shooting handgun overall, and I recommend it. All right, guys, welcome back to the table. And this is going to be the last tabletop for a couple of weeks. You guys know I'm in the middle of a move. So as a result, I got to take some time away from this, which is understandable because I'm going to be kind of in a temporary residence for about a month before we move in. So it kind of sucks, but at the end of the rainbow, it's a beautiful house, so I can't complain. Now, obviously, what you saw in the shooting is this gun is a fairly accurate gun, probably much more accurate than me. Again, I'm not an expert at the 1911 platform. I would say that I don't even know if I'm a novice. I'd say I'm pretty much a beginner. Now, I've had some opportunities to shoot other 1911s, but, just the way this thing handled and right out of the box, just being so accurate the way it was, there's a lot of pros to this. Obviously, the weight is a big issue in regards to making sure that recoil on a 45 doesn't kind of bounce you back a little bit. And the grip on this thing was just really nice. You have that safety, real positive safety. On top of that, you have that ledge on that safety lever, and it just made it easy to be able to control this recoil on this handgun. Now, albeit I did ask people to tell me what they thought about the support hand or the support thumb right here. Some people were saying put some, skateboard tape there, that type of stuff, which makes a lot of sense. Unfortunately, it would kind of ruin the nice sheen on the handgun, but I could definitely see that being very useful, just having a little bit more traction on that point of contact. But overall, the gun shot great. The magazine was flawless. There was no issues with it. And again, keep in mind, it is a Mech-Gar magazine. So what I would always say is that when you have a Mech-Gar magazine, 99.9% of the time, these things are going to work flawlessly. They're just built very well. I trust all my guns that have Mech-Gar magazines without having any issues with the feeding and the springs and everything else. And again, this gun was flawless with this magazine, so there were no issues. The slam plate that they have on the bottom here, which I think is actually, if I can see it, is really a nice feature too, because when you go in and you slam that, you don't have to worry about catching your hand fat on the bottom of the mag wall here. So that was kind of cool as well. At no time did I feel like the gun was slipping out of my hands, even though, again, there was not a lot of traction points there for your support thumb. The grip is just solid. There's no way that this gun is going to go anywhere. I definitely felt the bite on the back of the grip here because of that texturing. This doesn't necessarily have the best texture on the side, but I'd be more concerned with the rear and the front than really the side of the grip. However, with this texturing here, that's a good place for your support hand to really just feel it. Again, it's not a lot of surface area to grab onto. It would be nice if there was a little bit rougher texturing, but other than that, the gun was perfect. With the sights, the sight picture was very good. The fiber optic front was very easy to actually catch. No issues with that at all. Maybe some slight distraction with the two white dots in the back, but other than that, it was a very, very nice sight picture and really didn't take a lot of adjustment when I started shooting the gun. I think overall for me, this is a very good entry into a 1911. I think that if you're looking for one that you don't want to spend $1,000 on, I honestly think this would be a really good option. First off, would you carry it? I think there's always a possibility that you carry it a 40 ounces gun. There are probably people who do it all the time and don't really complain about it. For range use, it's perfect. And I think overall, if you're trying to get into that platform, are there cheaper alternatives? I'm sure there are. However, I think you can't really mess with the quality of the gun that's made by Springfield, especially in their 1911. You know, a lot of people were leaving really positive comments about the quality of these 1911s, and hopefully that will kind of convince people to sit there and say, well, if I'm going to get a 1911 and I don't want to break the bank, why not get something that has quality at the same time affordability, and more importantly, usability with a really positive ending and conclusion to the firearm. I'd say the only detraction is you're only getting one magazine, but you're going to obviously have to invest some money to get a couple of more. You don't have to buy sights, so that's a good thing. And the trigger, like I said, is a fairly good trigger. I had no issues with this trigger whatsoever. It was just so easy, so on point, just a really nice way to just drop that trigger. And let me just release the slide here. But even the reset was just spot on. I mean, everything really, guys, on this handgun was top notch. I've got no complaints, highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit closer. But overall, this was a great experience shooting a 1911, and hopefully very soon I will have another 1911 from this company, a little bit different, and there's a little similarity to one I've done before for them, but this one, in my opinion, is going to be much cooler. Can't wait to get my hands on it and have the experience shooting that as well. So leave those comments down below. I'd love to read what you guys have to write there. And again, I hope you guys have a wonderful couple of weeks. I may drop in and out every once in a while doing some basic videos. There are some guns that are going to be coming into the channel, but nothing complicated and nothing long-winded, so to speak. So I hope you guys stay safe. Again, just, be mindful of things are kind of crazy right now, but at the same time, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you in a few weeks. As always, everyone, freedom is never free.